Welcome to Pardon My English. You are our second female comedian and the first Corsican.
Yeah, but be scared.
Isn't Corsica like the Pakistan of France?
Are they angry and very protective about their territory?
Exactly. I have to cut that out.
You're gonna have problems?
No, maybe from the Corsicans.
Nah. No, we have humor about ourselves.
You are from Marseille, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I grew up there.
And when did you come to Paris?
Actually, I came 3 times in Paris. I
Yeah,
arrived.
came 3 times to Paris.
Okay. To Paris. No, it's good. Actually, it's a very good thing because I'm gonna practice my English with you.
If you say I come in Paris, it means something else.
Oh shit! Oh, I never thought it that way. Okay, okay. And
Come to Paris, yeah.
a female can come.
Yeah.
In.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, okay, that way it's another level of coming in. To come in Paris as a female means you had an orgasm in Paris 3 times.
But I did.
Only 3 times.
No. Okay. Actually, are we counting the fake ones?
So how did you end up in comedy?
Actually, when I came back from Toulouse in Paris, I was like so broke and I had no idea what I'm gonna do. I met Mouloud Achour. Mouloud Achour is a journalist and he has this TV show now in Canal Plus called Click. And at the time, he was launching the website, and there was no TV show or anything. And we met and we really got along. And he told me, "I'm sure you write," and I was like, "Absolutely not. I do not write." I said, "Oh, maybe I should write something," and I wrote something about Tinder. I sent it. He said, "Oh, that's cool. You're on Click, so can you do that once a week?" I was like, "Yeah," and I never wrote once a week, but it was the start of it. And then I met Mathieu Madenian, who actually really helped me in the beginning.
He's from Marseille.
No, he's from... No, he supports Marseille, the soccer team, but he's from Perpignan.
Because I lived in Aix-en-Provence.
Oh, you did?
I lived for 6 years in Aix-en-Provence.
Why?
It was a mistake.
Yeah.
A very long mistake.
Yeah, it's so long.
It was too long.
It's Aix-en-Provence is kind of the Neuilly of Marseille.
Yes.
It's awful, so too fancy.
It was good for me because I came from India and I was a virgin.
Really?
It was a great place.
To lose your virginity? Did you lose your virginity with one of these ex-girl with Chanel and Dior everywhere?
My mother is going to watch this show, so I have to
Hi,
be...
Krishna's mom.
Have you been on Erasmus?
No, because I didn't really study actually. So
That's nice. Yeah, so you're illiterate.
totally, I can't read.
You can't read. You can just speak.
I just can put letters and it's random. It just makes
It makes people
Words.
laugh. That's why it's funny.
maybe it is. Yeah.
Because if you are too educated, and plus you're Corsican. Corsican people are funny, you know?
Depends on what subjects. But I never lived in Corsica actually. My family left a long time ago. And my aunts and cousins, they lived back there 20 years ago, but they were like 4 generations not living in Corsica.
But you have family in Corsica.
Yeah, now, yeah. I have all my cousins and aunts.
Because I had some friends from Corsica in Aix-en-Provence, and they are quite... they have got a character. Isn't it true?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. For the better and the worse.
If you're good with them, it's great. And if you get on the wrong side, then you are in trouble.
Yeah, but they don't have the same definitions of good.
For example?
For example, you can't be too enthusiastic with Corsicans. If you come in a cafe in Corsica and you say like, "Hey, hi," they're gonna just look at you and say, "Okay, you won't have your coffee."
So do you have mafia in Corsica?
I can't say anything.
Okay. You live in this arrondissement, 12th, if I'm not mistaken.
11th.
11th.
But it's so close.
I live in the 14th, and I've been in that arrondissement, 14th and 13th. And 12th, I've been here for some time. And I'm realizing that this is the Paris of my textbook, my French textbook.
Really?
Yeah. It's like that atmosphere. It's got this very 80s atmosphere here, I feel.
80s. Yeah. It's actually, yeah.
Because it's like everybody's like that kind of Parisian, and these people...
We are vintage.
Yeah, here, in this arrondissement, at least. Because if you go to Belleville and all this, it's like very, very hip, and
Very Chinese.
they have this whole little Paris, which I know from my textbook.
Really? I thought it was more Montmartre. That the cliché was more Montmartre or Saint-Germain.
I mean, that is the cliche for Americans.
But in India, you're like.
We have a textbook from the 40s, maybe.
Actually, I love Paris. I'm not like. I have so many friends who are like, oh, Paris is so shitty. It's so stressful. I don't think so. I love Paris. It just depends because there's so many different Parises. And the reality of Paris and what it is, the poverty too in La Chapelle and everything. So there's no one Paris.
Oh, La Chapelle is the Indian neighborhood.
La Chapelle is just a melting pot of everything.
Have you had Indian food there?
I think I did, like a long time ago. But the problem with Indian food, I never know what restaurant to pick because I never know what is a good one.
Yeah, that's what. Whenever French people meet me, they always ask me, "Do you know a good Indian restaurant?"
Like good one, yeah.
So you want to know?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to know the one I'm not gonna be dead.
Yeah, you should try
after.
Kashmir.
Oh, I heard about. Oh, I think they're on Deliveroo.
In fact, there's everywhere. There's many Kashmirs in Paris.
Oh shit.
There's like Prince of Kashmir, Jardin du Kashmir, Étoile du Kashmir, New Kashmir.
There's just
Kashmir.
Kashmir in India.
Yeah, just Kashmir, and then Azad Kashmir. That you don't want. The Indians will understand that joke. That means free Kashmir.
Oh, okay. But
Yeah.
where are you from? You're from Kashmir, no?
No. So I'm from Bombay, near Bombay,
Yeah.
but my parents immigrated from Rajasthan.
Oh, it's a fancy country, It's a fancy
Rajasthan?
Yeah.
Rajasthan is like the desert of India. It's got a lot of culture. I mean,
Okay.
it's a desert, but it's like Saudi Arabia without the petrol,
Without the money, yeah.
without the money.
Okay.
My great grandparents had come.
Okay.
So
Yeah, but no, I never lived in Corsica. Actually, it's my great grandfather. Actually,
great grandfather.
great. My grandfather's father.
Okay.
No, my great. Oh shit,
Your grandfather's grandfather.
you did it. Yeah, he immigrated from Corsica to Algeria at the time.
Algeria,
Yeah.
and then from Algeria to Paris,
No,
to Marseille.
no, then Algeria to Morocco, and actually, I and my cousins are the first generation born in France, because my dad was born in Morocco, my grandfather as well, my great grandfather was born in Algeria, so we were, we colonized.
Your parents are both Corsicans.
No, no. My dad was Corsican, and my mom, she was from eastern France, Lorraine.
Tell me a little bit about what is your process of working with these comedians, and how do you create material for them?
No, usually the first thing is to watch what they do, to know them actually, because my job is to make them laugh, and to watch a lot of YouTube. And
Their videos or
yeah, videos or TV shows or what they do. All the comedians, they don't have the same process, they don't have the same method, they don't expect the same thing from you. So it's really to be adaptable. Just make up words. It's to be a chameleon, and to fit.
who have you written for?
Oh, I've started with Tom Villa, Mathieu Madenian and Thomas VDB, Kevin Razy, Anne Romanoff. I work for Nicolas Canteloup, Caroline Vigneaux, and I forgot some.
So like Caroline Vigneaux, if I understand, she was a lawyer.
Yeah, a comedian. Yeah,
Very big contrast between Caroline Vigneaux and Kevin Razy.
yeah, there is.
It's like they're totally different.
Yeah, Kevin is a black male, but no, it's just that they want to have a message. It's not just pure jokes. They don't really care about this. And Caroline is always. She was telling me all the time that she wanted a deep thing. It's
Subtext.
not text, a message, and not just pure jokes. She didn't really care. And Kevin is the same. He doesn't do like. I was working for him when he was on TV, Rendezvous with Kevin Razy, which was an amazing show, and it was about society and actuality and worldwide news and stuff. So we had to have a message, and this is the common thing they have.
And who are your influences? Like, who are your big influences in comedy?
I don't know, so many actually. The French, I'm not very original. I really loved Pierre Desproges. When I was a kid, I don't know, I discovered Pierre Desproges and I was like totally fascinated by him. Um, and now, like everyone, Blanche Gardin is someone I really, really love. I love Florence Foresti actually in a total different way. I really the way she moves and everything. It was I don't know. It was fascinating as well, and a lot of American actually. Louis C.K. of course, Dave Chappelle that I saw yesterday, um, and Sarah Silverman is someone I really love.
Oh, really? What do you like about Sarah?
I don't know. She doesn't give a fuck. I love her.
Like Sarah Silverman is one of the female comedians who really who has something which is funny for me. So it's like very few female comedians make me laugh. I'm not saying they are not good.
Mm.
They make female women laugh.
Yeah. You're
But
not the only one to have this problem with female comedians because I talk to a lot of guys and and even me actually, there's no so many women that but there's not so many men either. So
yeah, of course. I mean, it's difficult.
I love Sarah Silverman because she has something which is sassy, she's and she has she I don't know, she has this thing and she doesn't it's not easy jokes. She really talks about herself, about being a Jew, about being a woman, and she has a way to talk about it which is so different and sassy. Yeah, sassy is a word. Insolente. The sassy, I like it. I like the sound of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know this Gary Shandling show?
No.
And it was in the 90s. So I was studying in the US and I saw it there.
Yeah.
And I discovered her for she had one part in that.
I remember the first time I saw it was on YouTube. It was a friend of mine who made me watch some videos, and I wasn't a comedy writer at all at the time, and I was like, I watched this set where she talks about Jesus, and I don't really remember what she says, but I was like, oh my god, it was like a mic drop all the time. She was telling her jokes, and I was like, oh my god, she's amazing, and it was so. She doesn't play on the feminine things,
Her voice is amazing.
Her voice is amazing.
I think her voice is so funny.
Yeah.
And that itself
and
is.
she has a thing like
Yeah.
this. Yeah. She's so
that
American, actually.
The Jewish thing.
Yeah,
something.
Jewish
Yeah.
American woman. She's amazing.
What is your process of writing? Because it's very interesting. Like, how do you create material
For me or for the others?
for yourself, for others?
When it's for the others, I have a subject normally. So it's pretty easy to write on a subject. They tell me, okay, I want to talk about this or about this. And it's really often related to the news and actuality. So I just need to watch a bit of TV. And actually, it was the guy who actually taught me to be a comedy writer. It's a guy called Stéphane Ribeiro. It's a guy that I love. He's an amazing writer. And he was writing for Thierry Ardisson for 20 years. And he told me the first thing you have to do is just to wonder, what do you think about it? If I see a news or if I see, I don't know, a rose or something, what do you think about it? And you're going to write that. And this is how I find my jokes.
So first you write your take on it.
Yeah.
And then you find the funny in it.
Yeah. And then I'm going to punch it with jokes and everything. But he told me this thing, if tomorrow someone asks you to write 2 pages on Anchovies Olives, you have to do it. And I was like, what can I say? You have many things to say about Anchovies Olives. And I was like, okay.
Anchovies Olives, like olives with anchovies inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is one thing which I came to France when I was in
It's
Aix.
disgusting.
I didn't know I'm vegetarian.
Oh, shit.
And I ate this black olives with anchovies inside, and I didn't know this anchovies is a fish.
Yeah, it's a fish.
So
It's a disgusting fish.
Yeah, I ate it, and it was like I was really disgusted with myself.
No, it's awful. In Marseille, they love it. It's really from the south. They put it everywhere on pizza and salad and shit. It's disgusting. I hate it.
You know, Ed, supermarket Ed.
Yeah. Oh, you had a
Ed in
that from
Aix-en-Provence. Yeah, it's
But
horrible.
it's even more disgusting than regular
Yes,
anchovies olives.
yes.
Oh,
So like
shit.
I was a student, and I
Yeah.
remember like it was, oh god, it was so horrible. Like how could I eat that?
No,
But I
it's
think it's
awful.
what is interesting is like to have a take on anything in the world,
Mm.
to be able to have a comedic take on
Yeah.
anything. Seinfeld for me is like that. Like
Yeah.
when he's in the car and he's talking to people,
Yeah.
he's like garbage can. He can talk about the garbage can. He can talk about anything.
Yeah, about anything and to have an opinion on it. And it's it's a message, I think. It's because writing jokes, you can write jokes and have funny words, you know? But what I find funny, it's when people have an opinion and a weird opinion about things. The best comedians and writers, that's the difference. They're not just gonna make jokes, gonna say something about it.
So it's a view of the world. It's a way of
Yeah.
looking at it.
Yeah, and how they feel about it. It's about the feelings too. Does it make you sad or angry or happy or joyful or disgusted or scared? I think it's very primary emotions first, and to talk about these feelings. And I try to do that now because I started to go on stage like a few months ago, which is really hard actually. And I don't know, I had like a huge existential crisis about my stand up. And I realized that actually that I didn't do that for me. I can do that for others and write things and but for me I'm like so scared on stage that I want people to laugh that I'm gonna write jokes, but at the end I lose this thing, you know, and I started to rewrite everything and say, okay, now you have to talk about how you feel about the world and not just telling jokes about it. So it's different processes. And I know a lot of comedy writers which are going on stage too. And we all have the same problems. The same problem is that we are so used to write for others that to find back our identity, our point of view on the world, it's a process and it's actually really hard.
Because you have done it for others and you have
Yeah,
look at it through other people's
yeah,
eyes.
exactly. We have no personality.
Do you do clean comedy or what is your style?
Define clean. I don't
They
talk about sex. I mean, I don't talk about my pussy. Like, I talk about, you know, all the standards. Of course, I talk about my ex and stuff like this, but I don't talk about sexual activity, you know. I say that, but the beginning of my set is je baisse plus, but I don't talk about it. I don't talk about it like physically speaking.
Can you translate a joke from French to English?
Oh shit! I talk about that I like fat guys. That's true. I like fat guys, and but I struggle to find one, and which is weird because a fat guy is just like a villa in Baghdad. If you want one, you have one. You did not laugh at all.
No, I didn't.
You didn't get it? I say that I struggle finding a guy, which is weird because I like fat guys. And fat guy is just like a villa, a house in Baghdad. If you want one, you have one. This is awful. You know, it's going to be hard tonight if you don't get my joke.
Because Baghdad, I associate with like American occupation.
Oh, okay. It's just a shitty place for me. Just
Okay.
a shitty place to live.
Because for me, like when I think about Baghdad,
Actually, in
I
French, I don't say Baghdad. In French, I say Roubaix. But
Roubaix is
Roubaix, it's a very shitty city in France. Like, maybe you can have a 3-floor mansion for 10 euros. But in front of an English audience, I have no idea.
maybe in Bangladesh or some
In Pakistan?
Pakistan. I don't know.
Like a mansion in Bangladesh. If you want one, you have one.
I think that might work. Where is this Roubaix actually?
It's in the north.
Okay, so it's a shti.
I think so. Yeah, it's Ch'ti. Of course it's Ch'ti. Why am I thinking about it?
Like, what's your dirtiest joke?
I don't know. It's funny because there's a part of my set. If I have a easily offended crowd, I just have the which is for me it's not dirty. It's I talk about alcohol and because I'm sober and I used to drink a lot and there's a joke about it's not a joke about pedophiles because I don't joke about it, but it's just I said that I'm really tired when I go to a party. That there's always one guy who say, it's okay, you can have one sometimes, you know, and I say this is weird to tell this because a pedophile who's trying to get better, you don't say that. Ooh, you can get one sometimes another, and sometimes I have people say, "Ooh," I'm like, come on, I just don't joke about pedophilia. It's just it's true actually.
But in France, audiences are very. I mean, they are not as cooked as in America. No, they are not like completely.
They're sensitive
They
here.
are very sensitive.
We're very sensitive people. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Just depends. I don't know. It's really split. Some people love dirty jokes and love to be shocked, or absolutely not. And just depends on what crowd you.
Very interesting how French comedians walk on like a tightrope. America is becoming very like that also, the
Mm.
politically correct and
But I think they started. Americans started that. But it's in France. We had so many discussions about what's funny or not, and what you should say or not, and second degree and stuff like this. That it kind of polluted the humor spirit, I think. And it's always a lot of debates and blah blah blah, and so it's always complicated. But I think that if you do a joke, I mean, a proper set, you're gonna offend someone. It's
you have like some collateral damage.
of course, but it just depends how you do it, and if it's just nice funny or mean funny, you know, and what you're trying to say. If it's just to tease someone a little bit, it's okay. But people are very sensitive lately about it. It's funny. I have this joke where I say that French people have an issue with alcohol. We French people have issues with alcohol because like drinking wine all the time is not natural.
Wine is very good for the French economy.
Yeah, of course it is. And but French people just gonna justify themselves like, you know, that drinking 2 glasses of wine every day is really good for the heart. And you're like, no, it's not, but drink, you know. And but no, really. And you have this book, it actually exists. It was made in the 70s, I think, about this doctor. And it was like, heal yourself with wine. You have all the disease. Oh, if your foot hurts, drink that wine. If your liver hurts, drink that wine. If your liver hurts, don't drink, really. And so we have an issue with this.
If you have cold, drink some wine.
Yeah, exactly.
If you are sick, drink some
Yeah,
wine.
Just drink wine. Never
For
say.
aperitif, for before food,
Yeah.
you drink. After food, you drink.
Yeah.
During food, you drink
Yeah.
the red or the pink or the white, depending on the food.
Yeah.
Depending on the dead meat
Yeah.
which you have.
Exactly. The dead meat, the dead vegetables too.
Yeah.
Depends. Dead
And-
fish.
And I saw this movie called Hussar. I don't know how you say it. Hussar sur le toit.
You saw sur le toit, yeah.
And in that, I forgot, Olivier Martinez, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He massages Juliette Binoche. He strips her and massages with wine.
That's so French.
She's like cold or something, and she's like going to die. So he takes her clothes off, and he massages her with wine.
Oh,
So that is like the what you can do with wine in France.
But you know, when I was working in the opera house in Toulouse, it was funny because I discovered opera and I didn't know much about it. And I I discovered that how you recognize a French opera. In a French opera, you always have an aria, a song about food and wine. It's true. I mean, it's not even a joke. You always have it. And in Manon Lescaut, which is a huge French opera by Massenet, you have all the beginnings. Maybe the first 15 minutes is just a song about what they're gonna eat and what they're gonna drink.
Really?
Yes,
When is it from, this opera?
it's a French opera from the 19th century, maybe 19th century, and it's called Manon, and it's
Talking about food in the beginning.
and just the song. I mean, it's
a
about a
menu.
tragic love story. It's really French too. But all the beginning of the opera, it's
It's a
about
menu.
it's the menu. Exactly. It's in a restaurant. They're in the front of a restaurant, and they just sing about what they're gonna eat and drink. This is really French.
Balance your porc, throw your food.
It's just about food. Yeah.
It's like even
We're obsessed by food. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. And I think we are the only culture who actually talks about food while having food.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I don't know if you noticed that, but when I was in Australia, like English people and everyone was amazed by French because we were talking about
Do you talk about the
food.
same food or other food?
No, other food. We talk
Okay.
about the food we had the day before or what the one we want to have the day after. We never talk about the food
What
we're
you're
having.
eating. So basically, okay. So
And the next dinner we're gonna talk about the food we were having.
okay. So you told stories about food.
Yeah, and we
Okay.
describe, oh, you see that blanquette, it was amazing, and just the sauce. And I mean, we're so, I don't know, we have a sexy thing.
There's a whole cliche of I think earlier the French are into sex and into like very sexy and too much sex and
No.
like from the 80s. I don't know if it
No.
is. If
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. No, but we have a
Something
erotic
with food,
thing.
yeah.
We have an erotic thing with food. And actually, when I was, because I stayed in Australia maybe 8 months, what I missed the most were not my parents, were not my friends, was the food. Really, I'm not joking.
What do you have there?
Australian shit, you know, just plastic cheese and the cheese. It was.
It's true. It's true. Like in America, I forget. I remember the food. I remember taco. What I missed from Austin, Texas, where I lived, was Taco Bell.
Oh God, it's disgusting. You can't compare French cheese and Taco Bell. Please respect us. Respect us.
Like Brexit, I saw like a meme where you have there's a meme where you have baked beans and something toast
Yeah.
on one side, and there's a line,
Yeah.
and then you have all the European continental sausages and all the different
Yeah.
breakfast stuff around. And I said, this is a great thing because this is what I like, baked beans. So this is Brexit was a good thing.
But that's your English culture.
I'm
don't
vegetarian.
understand.
I'm vegetarian, and plus I really like baked beans. Everything else I've tried it. I mean, I'm vegetarian, but still I tried everything in like continental breakfast in Germany, in Poland, in France, in Italy, and I still prefer the baked beans.
I don't get it. I hate baked beans. When I was when I was in Australia, I was working in a hostel, and at the breakfast, you know, and every morning at 7 in the morning, I had to wash the pots of the baked beans, and the smell is disgusting. It's I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get English food actually.
Apart from baked beans, they don't. I don't think they don't have anything after that.
They have boiled things. They just boil things, you know, boiled meat. How do you even think boiling meat? It's crazy. I hate it. But in Australia, no, they have kind of a fusion because Asia, they have an influence from Asia, so they have a lot of Asian food. But yeah, I miss food. So yeah, French people are obsessed by food. Look, I needed to talk about food.
What do you like to eat?
The thing that I miss the most when I'm in a foreign country is cheese.
Cheese. Okay.
Cheese, and I love cheese.
Have you heard of fromage?
Fromage, yeah.
Fromage.
Oh, the vegan one? Never in my whole life. This is why I can't be vegan. It's impossible. You can't take cheese away from me.
The most difficult thing to leave.
And actually, French people, we can have this just for a meal. We can have a cheese plate.
Yeah, that's like so disgusting.
That's amazing. But we put fruit sometimes on it, like you know.
You have such smelly cheese.
But the more smelly it is,
The
the more
better.
sweet. The
Sweeter it is.
Yeah.
I had a friend like in Aix-en-Provence, and he had like some cheese in his fridge, and it became like it had like a little bit of fungus on it, like
Yeah.
and he said, oh, maybe it's becoming better.
But actually, there's some cheese. It's like this. It's true. But for example, blue cheese, it's my limit. Blue cheese is my limit.
You don't like blue
No,
cheese?
I like it in a sauce, like
Okay.
with meat and everything. But eat it raw, it's kind of complicated.
Rocamadour, I tried.
No, rocamadour is good.
Okay.
Rocamadour is good. Reblochon is the best.
Okay.
Reblochon is the best ever. I don't know.
No, that was like the fascinating for me before I came to France, and now what I prefer is cheddar.
Come
I'm sorry because it's like my childhood. My childhood, we were like colonized by the British, so we had cheddar in India. So we had this cheddar, and I mean, like this cheddar toast in India, we get that.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that.
I'm sorry. I'm going to get
It's so fancy.
my carte de
people.
séjour will be taken away
Yeah.
after this one.
Give it to me now.
So for me, writing is the most difficult thing.
Mm.
Everything else is fun. The rest, writing is the most difficult part for me. But I think some people are very easy with writing.
Mm.
Some people have like ease with starting, and for me it's very difficult to start. Like for writing, I take like maybe a week to start, but when this starts, then everything
Yeah, yeah,
comes out.
yeah. It's true.
I don't know how it works for you and what is the process, and because
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Just for the little story, when I started to be a comedy writer, I was so scared and not confident about it. And I remember I called the guy who actually taught me to be a comedy writer, and I called him and I was like being very dramatic about it and like, I can't do it, and it's so hard, and the subject, really, I'm not inspired, but maybe it's not for me, blah 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 blah, during complaining a lot during 10 minutes. And he listened to me very nicely and carefully, and after 10 minutes, he said, okay, okay. Do you want an advice? And I was like, yeah, shut up and work. And actually, it's the best advice someone gave me. And say, okay, just 10 minutes you have complaining, not being inspired. Just open your laptop and start. And actually, it's the best advice I had, because inspiration for me, it doesn't exist. I don't know what is inspiration. It just I just start, and then it comes. Sometimes there's some days I'm better than others, but um I don't know about, yeah. And that day I understood that inspiration doesn't exist. It's just about starting to work, and then maybe sometimes something happens.
like observation exists. Like I mean, like you observe
Yeah,
something and then you can take it from there.
yeah. But it's not inspiration. When people talk about inspiration, it just sounds like, ooh, a divine revelation. The creative fire just starts to burn, and I don't believe in this. I believe in being aware, like you say, observation and stuff, and starting to work, and having a creative process. I can't work at home. I don't work at home.
So where do you work?
In the cafe, in a cafe just down my apartment. Sometimes I work a little bit at home, especially late in the evening, because I have some jokes to do, and it's closed, and I don't know. But when I work during the day, I never work at home. I think it's important to split my living place and my working place, because it's really hard actually to work at home. You have to be very disciplined, and at home I always have something. I have the dog complaining about something. I have my TV. Oh, I'm gonna make some tea. Oh, I'm gonna do that. And even for my brain, I think it's really important to have really separated places to live and work. So that's an advice I gave to someone actually. We're working at home, and I was like, I can't work, and I was like, just get out, get out. Home is not a place to work. I like working in the afternoon, which is not happening right now. I have to work in the morning pretty much all the time. Uh, but yeah, afternoon is a good thing. I like afternoon because afternoon is my morning actually, and I'm more creative at those time. And late at night, not too late. I don't know. I'm a bit bitching about it, but I like working during 3 and 6, and then around 9, 10, it's okay. And then at midnight, I have to cut it. I decided to change my method actually, because I'm a writer, and of course I'm really scared. I was scared before going on stage, so I was writing a lot and learning my lines and learning everything. And at the end, I just spent months to just recitate and trying to do my lines the best I could. But all this time, it was taking so much energy that I didn't really write new stuff, you know? So I was watching this amazing TV show, which is called Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And I was like, huh, I think I'm going to do the opposite now. I'm just going to go on stage having no idea what I'm going to talk about, record it. And maybe it's going to be less funny the first time, but maybe some stuff going to pop up. And then writing what I said. And knowing what, because it's more spontaneous actually, because writing before.
Yeah, it's difficult to write for stand-up because you have to have the speak. You have to
Yeah.
find the music of it, and
Yeah, and actually, when I started stand up, it was awful. The first weeks were awful because I was just saying my lines. I wasn't living it, and I had no emotions or living. For example, like we talk, and I know that I'm Mediterranean, so I talk with my hands. And on stage, I don't do that.
oh really?
Yeah, which is weird.
It's strange.
It's strange. I'm just with with my mic, and trying to be confident and stuff. And actually, I realized that it was not a good way to do it. So to liberate my creativity and my humor, maybe I should start to not prepare so much, just knowing having a few jokes and let's see what happens. It's the best.
And how was your Dave Chappelle show yesterday?
It was good. It was very interesting. All the first parts, the first comedians before him were amazing.
Who were the first before?
I have no idea what the name
French?
is.
They were
No,
Americans,
they were Americans touring with him.
Touring with him.
Yeah. And they were amazing and very good. But it was kind of a masterclass actually to see Dave Chappelle on stage, because it's fascinating and very depressing at the same time. It's fascinating because he's so at ease, it's stage is his room, and he just get on stage smoking a cigarette, having his drink, and doesn't give a fuck. And so you're like totally fascinated, saying, oh my god, it's so good. I mean, it's just his nature. And that's the part which is depressing too, because you're like, okay, so maybe in 30 years I'm gonna be as good. But I don't know, he has a rhythm and a facility to just speak and be funny. That's crazy. So it was good, but in the same time, he's lazy. He's a bit lazy because he knows his job. He doesn't really have to work. This is a feeling I had. Like, he just comes on stage, talking, smoking a lot of cigarettes, and then the last 15 minutes, he was just speaking with the audience. And then, oh, okay, can I stay? Oh, no, we have a curfew. Okay, bye. But it was good. I mean, he did an hour and 15 shows, so it worth the money. No, it was good. Actually, it was really, really good. It's very interesting to see how he takes the subjects and distort it and give his opinion, which is so important. And he doesn't really care about if people are going to agree with him or not.
And about French comedians, I mean, like, okay, I cannot ask you because you know all of them.
I told you I really love Blanche Gardin. Yeah, it's very good writing.
She's very lyrical in French, but at the same time, she's very stand-up.
Yeah.
So I think that's why she's like a good combination.
Yeah, there is this, and she's very authentic. I mean, she doesn't play a character. She's totally herself. That she pushes a little bit.
It's interesting, like with her small, like a little girl kind of a hairstyle.
And she's totally depressed, and she's. I mean,
her smile with her lipstick and her clothes.
Yeah.
So she has this.
She has this thing, and it's not because I know him, but I'm always amazed by Mathieu Madenian, and is very at ease. The way he speaks to the audience, it's crazy for me. And for me, he's the best. He's really one of the best stand-uppers for that. The last show, not this one, I didn't see it yet, but the previous one, I saw it maybe because I was working with him at the time. So I maybe saw it 8 times or something. And all the improv with the audience and everything, I saw it 8 times. Every time I was caught. Every time I was surprised, which is crazy, actually. And he really has this capacity of making you believe that what he's saying is just pops up. And for me, it's so strong. It's so strong on stage. And yeah, it's the attitude. I really like the attitude and the rhythm and everything. There's all the new generation too, which is interesting. I like Marina Rollman, Paul Mirabel, Panayotis, and there's a new generation, coming, which is really interesting and fresh.
So thank you so much.
So I'm C1 now.
Yes, you are qualified C1.